aboard. Nice to have you here. Yes, happy anniversary. Well, truth be known, I have the most gorgeous wife, and today is exactly 8 years since we've been married. It's been 10 years since we've been best mates. We were together after a phone call, and we haven't been split since. So there we go, folks. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here on this very auspicious occasion. Auspicious because, I don't know if you can see over there's the wedding. That was on the Grand Princess last year. And the rest of the pictures are just us spending time together, whether it be with each other or with friends or whatever. G'day, Nick. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. Missed you yesterday. Have a look and see what pictures are where. See if you can tell where some of the pictures are. If you can, that'd be great, because I don't remember myself. Anyway, how's Ilana feeling? Ilana is recovering. She's been out of bed for the last couple of days, but she's still feeling a bit washed out, but she's on the mend, and she's headed in the right direction. Anyway, so you haven't been feeling too well yourself, Nick. We missed you yesterday. You must have been really busy or really stuffed. Either way, it's great to have you on board. A couple of things that have been transpiring over the last few days or so is I had an opportunity to talk with Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel, who is taking care of the cruising side of things for us for the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise, but also I've been spending time talking about his next cruise coming up, which is the Alaska cruise that he's got set up. And I want to tell you, folks, that has got to be one of the most amazing cruises that are going to be coming up fairly shortly. So if you are in the idea that you'd like to be cruising Alaska, please get a hold of Bruce. It is going to be a Helping Hands for Cruising supported one. So yeah, certainly get on board with that. All right, Facebook user, you're asking a question, and today's, usually Wednesday, hump day, is Ilana's relaxed day. That's why she's not on the screen with me physically. But I don't know if you're blind or whatever, there are a whole bucket load of her with me in the pictures. So crawl back in the cheese. I think that's Rob, actually, if the truth be known, because he would do or say a thing like that. Any rate, please, if you do have that desire, it's going on the Norwegian Encore. We were talking with Jen and Andrew from Embarkation Nation, and they've just come off a cruise on the Norwegian Encore, and they will be going on that Alaska cruise. Actually, that's quite an auspicious occasion for that cruise itself, because not only will they be on that cruise as supporters of Helping Hands for Cruising, but I believe they're going to be on that cruise as part of their wedding. So talking about weddings, so there we go. G'day, Ross. Welcome aboard, buddy. I hope you're coughing really well. How you going? Awesome. I hope you're getting better. Joe, welcome aboard, buddy. Hi, Sean, Nick, and Ross. One more thing ticked off for Shepparton. He has a friend in Kyabram, and he may be catching up with him on the Monday. Well, that's going to be extremely awesome. So it looks like your time under the time down in Mexico land, that being Victoria, is going to be very, very useful. G'day, Jimmy. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. So as you can see, we are doing a anniversary segment today, and I will be having a drink to that. G'day, Daniel. welcome aboard, buddy. I have watched some of your videos and I just haven't commented, but I really liked the last one I saw was when you did the tribute to the guys at I think it was you went at Port Arlington. I think you went to, but you did a, a tribute to the soldiers. So thank you. For those that have served, thank you for your service. But that was an awesome video. Ross, thank you very much, buddy. Let me have a drink to that. And there you go. I'm drinking to it. So, to give you guys a heads up, 8 years of marriage, 10 years of friendship with the person who's my soulmate. And she calls me her soulmate, so there we go. So, how dare you call me blind? Maybe I'm blind. You are not a nice person calling a viewer blind. You're right. I'm not a nice person. I'll leave it at that. I'll get Ricky Rocker onto you in a minute if you're not careful. And I didn't actually call you blind. I said, can't you see all the visions of me and Ilana together? So there you go. Different iterations. Anyway. Actually, it was quite funny. When we were on the Grand Princess. It was the inaugural cruise that my parents went on. It was their inaugural cruise. They've never been on a cruise before, so we were with them, Ilana and I. And every time, because they use the bands, you know, the medallions. Every time we would walk past one of these signs over here on the Grand Princess, every time we'd walk past, it would go. It would say, happy anniversary, Ilana and Sean. So it was really quite funny. It was awesome. Well, g'day, Susan. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. First time you're in the chat. So welcome aboard. And which part of Queensland are you in, Brizzy? We are down in Melbourne, so welcome aboard. Nice to have an Aussie on the chat for a change. Nick, yeah, yesterday you were still asleep when we were on. Until you change your time this weekend, you go live at 4 a.m. my time, so definitely quite early in the morning. Sorry about that, mate. And Joe's saying g'day to Daniel and Susan. So welcome aboard, folks. Nice to have you all on board. Hey, Nick, you haven't given us the countdown yet. So what is the countdown? Okay, so seeing as I'm talking about cruising, for those that don't know, and Suzanne, maybe Daniel, who don't know, we run a channel called Helping Hands for Cruising. Helping Hands for Cruising in the U.S. is a charity. We're trying to give a charity status down here, down under. The intention of Helping Hands for Cruising is to get a person who is, for one reason or another, not able to cruise, whether they be financially strapped, have never cruised in their life, have had a hard time in life, whether it be through some sort of disability, or they are the carer of somebody who's disabled, or they are just hard on their luck. We give them an opportunity of a holiday of a lifetime, or a vacation of a lifetime for those across the pond. And so we've already put 3 people on board cruise ships, or 3 recipients on board a cruise ship, because a cruise ship is never, or a cruise booking is never a single person, it's always a couple, and we always pay for dual occupancy. So we've been able to put 3 recipients, and we've got a 4th recipient coming up on this next cruise that I'm just going to put up on the screen here now. Now, funnily enough, that date of that cruise, it's leaving pretty much 2 years to the date that the inaugural cruise went off with young Mr. Kenneth Oakes out of Miami. So there we go. That's rather an auspicious occasion. And young Roxy will be having the time of her life on board that cruise because I know exactly who's going to be going on there. Well, 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 what do you know? It is Ilana O from the Ducks. Thank you, hun. Sorry not there with you. Happy anniversary to you. Hey, hun, you're always with me. You're there in video. You're there in pictures. And you're just in the next room anyway. So there you go. I can't run away from you at all. So I wouldn't want to anyway. Jimmy is wishing us happy anniversary. So thank you. G'day to Ross and Joe. Ross is saying g'day to Jimmy and hello Ilana. Okay, Joe is going. G'day to Ilana, congrats to you and Sean. 8 years is a long time. I've been working with my current company for just over 17 years. Yep, it is a long time, 8 years, but I tell you what, it feels like yesterday. So thank you for that, Joe. Joe's also saying g'day to Jimmy and Ross is saying g'day to Ilana. And Ilana saying good morning, evening, Jimmy, the astute tourist. Stream Elements is in there saying welcome to Hump Day with the Ducks. Please support the channel so that we can support Helping Hands for Cruising. Jimmy's asking Ilana if she feels better, and Ilana's saying she's feeling 80%. 80%. Yeah, well. 80%. Well, well, it's better than what it was a week ago. So yes, 80% is really good. All right. So now I was mentioning Alaska, guys. You really need to get on this particular cruise. Hang on. Bruce is such a tight person that in order for me to play this video, I've got to do this.
Have you been dreaming of an Alaskan cruise? Or maybe you've taken one before and you just can't wait to go again. If so, the Helping Hands for Cruising Group Cruise is just the cruise for you. June 15th through June 22nd, 2025, you will set sail on the magnificent Norwegian Encore. This amazing group cruise will take you to Juneau, Skagway, a majestic cruise through Glacier Bay, Ketchikan, a stop in Victoria, British Columbia before arriving back in Seattle. Contact Bruce at ocean2oceantravel.com today to find out how you can be a part of this fantastic group cruise to Alaska. This is one you definitely don't want to miss.
Whew, thank goodness I put in the right amount. Otherwise it wouldn't have started at all. Anyway, Ilana is saying to Joe or whoever's listening, getting there, thanks. Her mouth sometimes doesn't feel like working and it's a bit painful. In fact, it gets to being reasonably, the good news is it works most of the time. Otherwise I'd get myself into serious trouble if I said anything else. Joe is saying, I hear you, it feels like yesterday he got his 10-year certificate. Then his 15-year certificate. And Ilana is claiming that it's been 80 years that we've been together. Really? Really? 80 years? Seriously? I'm not even that old. Neither are you. Joe is saying, Sean, I will see you and everyone here on Saturday. Someone I have not seen on a YouTube live in ages has just come live. Mate, go and enjoy it. We'll catch up with you on the weekend. Take care, buddy. Ross is saying, okay, we'll be lurking time for nebulizer treatment. Okay, mate. I hope you feel better. You don't... using the nebulizer doesn't sound really good to me, so take it easy. Ross, if you... Look, seriously, I hate creating threats, but if you do not get better, I will just have to get Ricky Rocket to come round to your place and sort you out. Seeing as he's got a thing for me. Ilana's saying goodnight to Joe, so there we go. Okay, so the Alaska cruise, really, that's one of our bucket lists, and the Encore sounds like such a great ship, and especially considering where it is going out of, Seattle, means that it is an extremely good opportunity there. Facebook users saying Alaska's too cold for a cruise. The Caribbean or the Med is where it is at. Well, I'm comfortable for you to say that. At any rate, anybody who has the opportunity to cruise, whether it be Alaska or the Caribbean, is extremely lucky, let me say. Jimmy is saying no, using a neb is not good. Ross, get that junk out and feel better. Absolutely. But then again, if it wasn't for the neb, things wouldn't work well. So let's hope you get off the nebulizer. But at the end of the day, Ross, you're under strict instructions to get better anyway. Feel better and take care. Okay, so as I was saying, the Norwegian Encore is proving to be a very enjoyable ship. Now, this one here, thank God Ross is gone, because I didn't want to give him any cash for this one, considering he's organising it, and you know the way Ross is when it comes to organising. He's such a hard person. Oh, all right. Oh, God, he's listening. Okay, all right. I'll get on with it. Here we go. This is the cruise that is the real big one that we're all looking forward to next year.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell?
It is, and Jimmy's got it there. The cruise of the century. That's what it is, folks. I'm telling you what, we're going to have the most amazing time there. Well, let me tell you who's going on that cruise. Not only is Ross and Donna from Orange Cone Vlog, but we've also got Jimmy and his lovely wife Colleen from the Astute Tourist. We've got Scott from the Controversial Cruiser. We've got Sean and Ilana from the Down Under Cruises. That's even more exciting because I believe they don't cross the water that often. We've also got Jonesy and Mrs. Jonesy coming from Radio Jonesy. They live in Tasmania. So there's a bucket load of people who are, well, we've already got 54 cabins sold. So there we go, folks. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Ross is saying he will get better. The doctor said they caught it early. The nebulizer is to get ahead of it, have a rescue inhaler, steroids, antibiotics, and cough medicine. Mate, you sound crook. And Jimmy's made a really good, valid point. A cold cruise is better than no cruise. That's a message for Facebook user. I think it's Rob, because he's the only one that would come back and talk to me like that. And Ilana's saying absolutely, Astute Tourist. Jimmy, Ross is saying that he has bronchitis and pneumonia. What a double whammy. Caught the pneumonia early, so that's the exciting bit. And yes, Ross needs rest. Rest. He's been there, and that's no fun. Ross is saying bronchitis is chronic and it flares up once a year. There's nothing chronic about it. Ross is resting yesterday and today. Back to work tomorrow. Ross, rest. Jimmy says we got the Ford man. Oh, that's cool. He's going to be coming as well. And we've got Mike and Rihanna, Eddie and Alice Lugo, and Bruce and Cindy. Well, yeah, we knew Bruce and Cindy because, look, Bruce has got to make sure that everybody's on board the cruise, and then Cindy's got to make sure that Bruce behaves himself. It was a really important discussion today that I had with them when they were interviewing, well, today our time, when they were interviewing Jennifer and Andrew from Embarkation Nation. And we also had the privilege of meeting up with Chloe, so that was really exciting. You never know, they might be on our cruise. They might enjoy having had their wedding on the Alaska cruise, that they want to have their second honeymoon on the Rock and Roll Tribute. You know, stranger things could happen. But anyway, there we go. It's all exciting stuff. What can I say? So now, for those of you that may not know, we have some inaugural, well, on that Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise, there will be some inaugural functions going on. One of those inaugural functions will be the Helping Hands for Cruising F125 handicap. Well, I'm the one with a handicap, so yes, we'll be doing the go-kart race. So see who actually wins. Bruce has also taken it upon himself to talk to their events team to see what other functions we can actually put on for the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise. I tell you what, it is going to be the cruise of the century. Funnily enough, we're trying to organise, if we can do it, a one night where we will have a joint dinner. So one meal where the entire group will have a chance. Can you imagine? 200 cabins. It's 400 odd people. I mean, the people aren't odd, but there'll be 400 people having a dinner together. I reckon that's going to be extremely bloody awesome. What do you reckon, folks? Okay, so more news around the cruising. I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's close to my heart. because I came from there. In Africa, there were a couple of people that they were on an excursion, and the excursion made it back late to the port. One of the reasons why I like booking with the cruise ship is because if the excursion is late, the cruise will wait for you. But having said that, folks, it does not make light of the fact that the most important thing you need to look at is when you're going on a cruise, make sure you have travel insurance, right? Because no matter where you are, what you do, if you're late back to the ship or you're finding it difficult to get between the ship and from one place to another for the ship, at least it is taken care of by the insurance, the travel insurance. You'd hate to be stranded somewhere and have to pay out of pocket. And if you're having to pay out of pocket, it's generally a bucket load of money. So travel insurance, no matter what cruise you go on, make sure you've got it. We'll be looking at it because, as I've mentioned before, we'll be on the Rock and Roll Tribute. Because we're on the Rock and Roll Tribute, we will be making sure that we've got our travel insurance up to date. A couple of other things for anybody who's going overseas to get to the Rock and Roll Tribute, you will need to make sure that any visas you need to be in place. So, in other words, in our case, we have to get our ESTA sorted out. So that we can actually go into the U.S. and do the cruise. They don't just, unfortunately, they don't go, oh, it's Sean and Ilana, in you come, guys. Yeah, the door's open. We've got to do what the average person has got to do, like the Donald Trumps of the world. They've got to get their visas in place, so we've got to do the same. So there you go. Make sure you've got your travel insurance. Make sure you've got your visa set up. Make sure your passport's current as well. By current, I mean most places around the world will not accept a visa. I mean a passport as being valid if it is less than 6 months old, as in 6 months to go, not old. Less than 6 months to go. So if you've got a passport that's going to expire within the next 3 to 6 months, I'd suggest go and get a new passport. Get your passport updated. And thank you, Facebook user. The best thing you've heard so far in the stream. Make sure you have travel insurance. Yeah, Mr. Smarty Pants. What I will say also is in the US, I know you guys have those passport cards, like a credit card. My suggestion is actually get the book, because you can be in the position where you get dropped off somewhere, you're running late to get back to the ship's gone. Then, or for example, you get airlifted because it's a medivac thing. You get medevaced off the ship, then you're stuck in a hospital. Then you've got to worry about trying to get back home. With what documentation? If all you've got is that passport card, in a lot of countries it doesn't mean anything. If you've got the book as well, the book is the important bit. So, yeah, there are a few people agreeing with me here. Ross has got both the book and the card. Rob, the card doesn't work overseas. You are correct, it doesn't. And in some countries, we don't actually know what the card is. Australia, Canada, and other countries around the world, we don't know what the card is. For all we know, it's like a bit of ID, that's it. But the passport, the actual book itself is really the important thing, because it's got everything in there. It's got your visas, it's got your citizenship, it's got your address, it's got a whole heap of info in there that can easily be tracked. So certainly, please use the get the book. for some of you are go, well, it costs a little bit extra. Hey, look, for 2, 3, $400 for 10 years, who cares? You know, it means that you can travel at any stage and go anywhere around the world without any worry. So please get a hold of the book. It's much nicer. You can thumb through it and look for the opportunity to actually go and say, oh, I've been there. Get stamps from all around the place that you go. So there you go. Ross is saying they keep their passports locked in the safe and they have photos of them in their phones and they carry the card with them. You see, we don't have the luxury of the card. We have to use the passport. And to be honest, we usually carry our important vital statistics with us. So we carry our paper passport. And Jimmy, you are right. Paper, please. Do you have your papers? Yes, we do. Visas, we don't need them at all. Well, you're Canadian, so what can I say? But I understand that the US are planning to bring in visas between certain people in Canada and the rest of the US. So there you go. However, if you did decide to come down to Oz, Rob, you would need a visa because we don't allow everybody or anybody into our fair country. A bit of plonk, a bit of LD plonk, a Merlot, I believe. So any opportunity for a celebration, right? I'm getting myself ready for the rock and roll tribute because I know that everybody, Ross in particular, is going to be plastering me with some of that disgusting stuff. Or is it? No, sorry. If Billy J comes with us on the cruise, he's going to be attempting to plaster me with that. Starts with the letter F. I can't think of the name. F standing for frickin' rubbish. Fosters, man, I can't remember what it is. Ross is saying, yes, Sean, every country is different. If we're outside the US and Canada, we have passports with us in our money belts. And yes, and that's the best way to do it. Stick it in your money belt. Make sure that your money belt is not seen to the... Please. I'm probably preaching to the converted here, but what I will say is please do not take your hundreds of thousands of wads of dollars out of your pocket in public and spray it around looking for the right denomination you want. What Ilana and I do is we'll take a little bit of money and put it in a specific place, and that's the few bucks that we've got that we can look around, look at and then go and pay with whatever we need. Usually we use a worldwide credit card that we can use. Jimmy is going to offer me a scotch. He's not going to offer me a weasel pea like Billy J. Oh, Jimmy, you're my best mate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A decent scotch is way better than that pea of a stuff. Really, you know, I drink highfalutin stuff. None of this pretend thing. Rob says he keeps all his money in his shoe. Yeah, that's because he likes to be carried around. And first of all, you obviously don't have a lot of money because you wouldn't want to walk. Well, wait a minute. Let me say this differently. You'd want to be walking all over the Canadian dollar. Oh, sorry, Rob. Didn't mean it. Okay. Shut up, Sean. Move on. Oh, all right. Okay. Rob Ross is saying if Billy comes and insists on you drinking blasters, he will insist he eats 3 tablespoons of Vegemite from the jar. And that is exactly what you should be doing. Get him to... Hang on, let me get that right. Wait a minute. Let me just find what I want here. 2 seconds, folks. 2 seconds. There we go. If Ross talks about that stuff, then certainly, yeah. But I'd rather that Billy J drink as much of that as he likes, because that's up to him. It's his stuff anyway. Rob is saying at least the Canadian dollar is stronger than the AUD. Mate, I never purported to say that the AUD was the strongest currency in the world. You are. It is... The Aussie dollar is pretty rat sack. I'd rather have the USD with me when we're traveling because it buys a lot more. Only I cry every time I go and use the Aussie dollar to go and get the USD because it costs us a bucket load more to get that USD. The good news is when we're changing USD back to AUD, we get a whole lot of AUD back. So there we go. Swings and roundabouts is what I say. Swings and roundabouts. It is fun. Anyway, okay, so important question. What did Ilana and I do on our last cruise? The last cruise we did was the Helping Hands for Cruising cruise. No, actually it wasn't. It was the Grand Princess where we took my mum and dad on their first cruise. That was the last cruise we went on. And the Grand Princess went from Melbourne to Sydney. And then straight after that, it then did the Trans-Pacific, I beg your pardon. Trans-Pacific, it went back up to Seattle, so a lot of things that were happening there. It was good. Joe is saying he's back. The live was a friend of his up from Queensland. Wait, what does your mate do? What is his channel all about, Joe? Give us a heads up. Tell us the nitty gritty. What's going on there? Excuse me. Anyway, so what comes after that? Well, as you all know, the Down Under Cruises group cruise that was due to have gone on the 2nd of January is now defunct. We've postponed it. We've postponed it maybe 2 years. We'll see. And what we're going to do is we will try and get it happening again where we'll get you guys into Oz. This time we found that there weren't a bucket load of people coming in, and so unfortunately we had to cancel it. But we will bring it back on board in a couple of years' time and see what other ships we can get in. And hopefully we'll have a recipient on that one as well. Joe is saying to Ross he won't get a chance. He's getting a 24-hour mute. That's right. That's exactly it. Billy will get that 24-hour mute. That's if he sees it. Yep. Well, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. You get on with whatever it is you were doing, but thank you for popping in, and we really appreciate it. If it is Rob this time, it might be someone else. I've got a feeling. Let me just have a look and see. Let me do a screenshot update of this over here. He's a singer. Look up Silhouette Park Farm and Adam Kilpatrick Fishing. Oh, that's cool. I'll look at that. And we'll have a look, see who, you never know. Oh, that's Burjo. G'day, Burjo. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the wishes. We just need you down here, mate, to enjoy the menus with us. So there you go. What more can I say? Cruising down under is starting to thin out. I think the Luminosa is heading back up north, heading back across the big pond. We've got the Princess ships are still doing their circuit, but not for very long. They will be heading back across the pond because somebody over there wants to use them for some Caribbean cruises or something. Apparently, you guys are going into your summer or something silly like that. Also, we've got Virgin. The Virgin ships have gone and said we won't be here. They are claiming that it is too hard to actually get around where the Suez is. They would have ordinarily have gone through the Suez Canal, but because of what's happening in the Middle East, they are claiming that it is actually too difficult to get ships through there, which I fully understand. So all shipping now has to go down the Cape of Good Hope or around that way. So that it's either that way or the other way. So around the U.S. through the Panama and up the other way. So it actually puts a lot of timing onto any cruising. So those ships are the Virgin ships are all headed back across the pond, and if they do go through, they will go through the canal, the Suez, without any passengers on board, which I can fully understand, because in the event of something going through, something happening to those ships with passengers on board, they would be in severe trouble. So there you go. Other than that, apparently Carnival are going to be keeping a ship or two down under. Not sure about what Norwegian are doing down under just yet. And P&O Australia are still sailing around. They will be here year round. So they're doing a couple of interesting cruises right now. They're doing some comedy cruises and basically 3 days, basically cruises to nowhere. So, and Australia will do cruises to nowhere. We don't have any issues with that. So there we go. Other than that, folks, I don't have much more to waffle on about. Suffice it to say, I'm going to be having the best next 80 years of my life with my best friends. So there we go. We're going to have some fun. Enjoying cruising, enjoying spending time with mates, just enjoying life, and that's exactly the way it should be. Rob is saying that the Carnival can give Australia the freedom. Well, we have the freedom to do as we wish, but please, if you want us to keep the freedom, well, hey, hallelujah, we will. Oh, you're talking about the Carnival freedom. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood you. Jimmy is saying Hump Day, Cup of Joe is coming up at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard. Jump over to there, folks. Go over and see Jimmy and Kenny having a whale of a time together. This time next week, you never know, Jimmy, we'll be up because Saturday is when we lose daylight saving. Yay! So 8 a.m. will become 6 a.m. your time, not 5 a.m. So there we go. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it quits. We'll be back on Friday night for those of you across the pond, Saturday Arvo for those of you outside of the pond. This week will be our last week starting at 1 p.m. on Saturday. You guys will still, for those across the pond, it's still 10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be catching up with you guys on the weekend. You guys have an awesome weekend, and you never know, my beloved will be there with me, hopefully, and we will be stirring up a storm. And Joe, I will have a place for you to find. Here's hoping. Anyway, folks, I'm going to say goodnight, and you take care, have lots of fun, and we'll catch up with you later. Take care.